fellow small business supporters, it's Savvy, your gay aunt from the 80s, and today we are going to be reviewing a book by one of our own members of the AuthorTube community.
Get you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should take up lesbianism.
Chicago.
You guys asked for it.
Hey friends, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome to my channel for the first time. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button because every Monday and Friday at 11 a.m. Central, I put out new videos about books, writing, small business owner life, anti-MLM stuff, business scanner roasting, my life as a small business owner running the Forever Home Friends, my series of children's books and stuffed animals based on the stories of real rescue dogs, and all of that good stuff, so y'all won't want to miss it. But today, it is time for the next installment in my series of AuthorTuber book reviews. And today I'm going to be reviewing the most recent AuthorTuber book I read, which I am so excited about, Shattered by Aphrodite Lee. Aphrodite is one of my favorite AuthorTube channels. I have linked her channel in the description below. She is such a nice person, and if you guys know me, you know how much I love toy modification and making toys, especially for my business, and modifying dolls, and how I, recently made this doll back here, Daisy, for my novel One Final Vinyl and all of that. Aphrodite is really into DollTube and the doll community as well, and she is now getting involved in her own doll modification separate channel from her AuthorTube channel, so I'll make sure to link both of those. She is just such a sweet, incredibly cool person, so I was so excited to read her book. And I'm like, color palette, like this book is purple. I love the color palette of this book, like the purple and black, and I tried to kind of dress in the book's color palette with this new bright purple lipstick that I got. Also, I got this lipstick because it was like very gay aunt from the 80s looking, which I love about it. And I wore my We Stand Pam t-shirt just because I thought the colors fit. So I recently started a brand new book review system specifically for indie books, but I think I'm going to start using it for traditionally published books, for all kinds of books, just because I think I like this system and it works well. I know it's not typical for like the way that books are rated on BookTube, but this is the system that works for me, so I'm going to show it to you guys. I talked about this system briefly when I did my review of Mandi Lynn's The Book Launch Planner. That one was really fun, and I kind of went over my system, but I didn't have it neatly laid out in my planner yet like I do now. By the way, shout out to London Gifties for this amazing washi tape. I was sent this washi tape by Christine from London Gifties, which Christine is one of my Patreon supporters, and her link for London Gifties is in the description below. If you love this kind of washi tape, this beautiful art style, she makes amazing stuff, and she was so kind to send me this washi tape, which I absolutely love. There are 3 sections to the review system: the physical book, the small business or like the customer service type of aspect to it, and the story and content itself. Obviously, the content of the story in the book itself is the biggest category, but the other 2 deserve to be rated as well because, as this is all about my theory about, books are a product, books are a good, just like everything else. And as a business owner who makes books, I care that people are like, yes, the paper quality is quite nice. Yes, the colors pop vividly on the page. Yes, I quite enjoyed this book cover. Yes, I felt very immersed in your business's family. I felt very well treated as I like those things all matter to me equally as much as did you like the story. I think those are all part of the book experience, at least from my perspective. So this is my rating system. It is out of 10 points total, and then to do ratings on Amazon and Goodreads, just divide that by 2 and make it a 5-star rating. If it's like a, 7 out of 10 or something, and it's an odd number, then I might just round up. So if it's like a, 2.5, 2.5 out of 5, like a 5 out of 10, then maybe I would just bump it up to 3 out of 5, because more times than not, I want authors to benefit from my review, so I want to do the higher star rating. The physical book, we've got 1 point for cover art, 1 point for interior, like the formatting and the pages of the book itself, and binding, paper quality, that kind of thing. So we've got cover, formatting, and then the physical binding and paper quality of the book. That is 3 points for physical book. Then there are 2 points available for the business aspect of it. So one, that's like the campaign surrounding the release. So like when I do like Forever Home Friends stuff, and I do like fun dog things on Instagram, or like if I do, a dog of the day type of thing to lead up to it, like that kind of thing. Like, was there a fun thing that I could get involved with as a customer that made me feel immersed in the world of this book beyond just being a reader of it? Was there something cool like that? Point for that. What was my experience like as a customer? Did I feel like I could connect with the author or with the seller? Again, if it's like a traditionally published book, I might not know the author, especially if it's a book that's like a bestseller selling millions of copies. But did I feel that as a customer that the book was appealing to me and treating me right? And then 5 points for the story and content, which is how immersed was I in the story? What was the character arc and the quality of the plot? And then if it's nonfiction, instead of that, it's, you know, was the information true, accurate, helpful, that kind of thing? Was the concept original? Was it, and then just finally, like, my overall takeaway and value of the book. So that is my 10-point rating system, and we are going to do that today on Shattered by Aphrodite Lee. Aliyah Shaw applied for and received a spot to attend a prestigious school for the arts for her senior year, all expenses paid. She's excited to start living her life the way she believes all other people her age do, but her dreams of freedom and new adventures are quickly doused when Aliyah finds out she is not exactly welcomed by the vast majority of the student body. With his popularity and status in the school taking a big hit because of Aliyah, the big man on campus makes it his goal to take her down at every turn. Her situation quickly grows even more problematic when she catches the eye of another young man with many issues of his own. Her new world is turned completely upside down as she tries to make sense of all the things happening around her. She learns fast that being smart is not the same as knowing everything. Her academic career, her innocence, and possibly even her life are threatened as Aliyah makes her way through the day-to-day reality of being accepted at Halstead Preparatory. Be careful what you wish for, because you just might get it. So this book is about a prestigious art school which, you know, does theater, you know, painting, costume design, creative writing, music, all the big performing and visual arts. It's big arts high school, and Aliyah gets a scholarship to this school. So the school's normally very expensive to attend, but she receives a scholarship because she is a fantastic writer and poet, and the school is excited to have her. But a lot of the other students are feeling threatened by her, and a lot of the other students are kind of used to always having that top level status, and they are here to take her down. Except for 2 or 3 amazing friends that she meets and one guy that she ends up falling in love with. But there are some other guys who are after her as well, after her romantically, after her in a predatory kind of way, a little bit of both sometimes, kind of scary. But that is what happens in Shattered. Now, Shattered is the first book in the Glass Corridor trilogy. I don't believe the other 2 books in the trilogy are out yet, so I haven't yet read them, but when I do, I'll make sure to do a follow-up review. I have taken this book through my 10-point rating system, and let's see where it ends up. To do my 10-point rating system, I have been using my new little tiny journal that I got, which is my Savvy Writes Books scripts journal, which I got it custom printed with Savvy Writes Books scripts from Made by Ellis, which is a shop on Etsy where I was searching for custom made journals. So starting with the first part, which is the physical book. First of all, the cover art I thought was fantastic. I love the color palette. I love the choice of the 2 fonts, of the one kind of sans serif, very rounded letter looking font with the handwritten script type of font. And I love that the cover was vague enough that you're like, I don't know what's going to happen, but it's also dramatic enough. It conveys the tone clearly. And guys, I cannot stress enough how much I love this color palette. So 1 point for cover, you earn the cover point. Nice work. The formatting and interior I thought was really well done as well. It's cool because, for example, at the top of each page for the chapters, it has that shattered glass type of thing up at the top fading out into the text, which I thought was a fantastic touch. I thought that was something really nice. It's not just a standard like chapter 1, here you go. It had a little thing at the beginning of each chapter. The binding's great, paper quality is great. I think this is overall physically a fantastic book. So 3 out of 3, all 3 points for that. Second, we're going to go with the small business, and this is where I thought this book actually really, really excelled. So what first drove me to buy this book, other than the fact that I like Aphrodite's YouTube channel and I think she's a really nice person and a really good author, other than that, the other thing that really enticed me to buy this book was how much of a universe she was creating around it. She hosted a launch party, an in-person one back before the pandemic happened, which unfortunately I wasn't able to go to because she does not live anywhere near me. I did look at the pictures she put up on Facebook. She told me about it, and it was really cool. What she basically did was she kind of rented out this room for the launch party, and she had people dress up in the potential like style of what they thought the school uniforms were for this, and she handed out these like diplomas there that were like, oh, are you a creative writing major at this school? Are you a dance major, a theater major, whatever type of major at this school? And she would hand out people little diplomas and she'd write their name on it. So when she signed a book for someone, she would also give them like a little diploma that was related to the school as if they were a character in this school as well. So I thought that was just such a cool idea. I loved seeing the pictures of that. I loved hearing her talk about this. And I was like, that is above and beyond like amazing. So point for that, because I was so impressed with that. I felt the same way about my customer experience with it. If I had been at that launch party, like I think I would have been head over heels from the book from second one because of that. All 2 points, 2 out of 2 for that. Fantastic work, and honestly above and beyond for that. For the content of the book, I thought this book had a lot of really good things going for it, and then there were some things I didn't like as much. So just a little bit of a content warning before we go forward. There are some really heavy things in this book, so if you don't want to hear me talk about some topics that could be very upsetting in terms of death, assault, those kind of things, I won't be offended if you click off the video now, because there was a lot of that in this book and I do want to address it. If you're still here, let's continue. So I gave this book a point for the originality of the concept. This is definitely a contemporary novel, but it didn't seem to fall prey to so many of the tropes that we see over and over and over again in contemporary novels. I liked that this book had a setting at a prestigious art school. I thought that was a really interesting setting and a really cool place to explore, and I loved seeing the characters physically explore the school and physically go through the hallways and stay at their dorms and see what their dorms look like and decorate them. I liked the variety of different characters. I thought in terms of originality, we didn't have a standard, you know, here's the flow of the plot that we read in every single contemporary novel that comes out. There were elements of romance, but it didn't fall into romance tropes. I felt that there was a lot of originality here, and I liked this contemporary world that she built, but there was still world building within a contemporary world because of the school and that, if that makes sense. However, when it came to immersion and believability, I wasn't able to give it a point for that, just because I felt that at the beginning, when we were first getting acclimated to the school, I kind of wanted more of a description of how the school worked. I feel like we were more, and this is a stylistic choice, so this isn't really a fault or anything, but it just wasn't my preference, which was that I like to kind of be oriented and situated within a world, so I would have loved if at the beginning Alaya was like, I got this scholarship. This school works like this. They have these different major programs. This is how it works. I'm going to be a creative writing major, which means that I take these kind of classes. Instead, that information was kind of implied to us along the way, which does have an immersive element in that it just kind of drops you into the plot and makes you feel like you're part of it. However, because I'm the kind of person who, and this is because I interpret things very literally, and that's my own fault, I am kind of someone who likes things to be told to me and laid out for me as we go into the world. And I think there could have been a way for that to be done organically in an immersive way. You know, if Alaya's going into school and she's talking with a guidance counselor and they're laying out how the school kind of works for her. And she does have elements of that, definitely. But I just kind of wanted to know more about the inner workings of the school, the logistics of how it worked up front, so that I would have those bearings in mind as I navigated into a very intense plot. So that was the part where I kind of wanted more. However, in terms of overall value, this book definitely gets a point, because this book took me on a roller coaster, y'all. So it was like, this girl, she went through so much, you guys. She went through so much. And even at the end, the book has a resolution that's not necessarily a happy ending, but you know that more stuff is going to happen in the next book. But this book, there's, especially even in the last third of the book, I was really emotionally invested, but it was also hitting me hard right in the heart every time. It was like, you know, somebody in her life dies, punch to the chest. Somebody in her life, you know, this happens. There's a scene where she gets sexually assaulted, which is really intense. So just know that you're going into this book, the sexual assault scene is very, very graphic. but it's also well written. So this book deals with a lot and it addresses a lot, and it's definitely like, although it's about like teenagers, people in their senior year of high school, I would not classify this as young adult. It's probably more of new adult just because of the tone and because of the level of things it deals with. But I do think we need a lot more new adult out there. So I'm happy to see Aphrodite as a new adult author entering the game. That makes me really, really excited. So going down the list of everything in here, we had a total of 7 out of 10 for the book Shattered, which averages to a 3.5 out of 5 stars. And I'm going to round that up to 4 stars. So 4 stars. 4 stars to Shattered by Aphrodite Lee. I know that a lot of other AuthorTubers have been reading this book as well. I want to know your guys' thoughts on it. Let me know in the comments below. I will leave a link for any of you that want to check this book out in the comments below as well. Even though it was really heavy, it was also a fairly quick read because the pacing was good, but it's heavy. So if you're in an emotional state where you're like, I don't know if I can handle this, then maybe hold off until you're in a place where you're ready to read something really heavy. But regardless, I will link it in the description below. And I hope that if it's something you guys are interested in, that you check it out and support another AuthorTuber and a fellow small business owner. This video was brought to you by my Patreon supporters. Please check out all of them in the description below. Top tier patrons have their stores or their social media or their websites or whatever linked in the description below. So please make sure you check all of them out. They are great people. Thank you guys so much for supporting me on Patreon. I really appreciate it. Everybody, don't forget my newest book, #Savvy Business Owner, is available for pre-order, linked in the description below. You can also sign up for my author email list if you want to get updates on new books and new things in the works, and just my newsletter from me, which I send out periodically, usually every month or so, sometimes a little more or a little less, depending on how many announcements I have. You can sign up for that, linked in the description below as well. Thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys again soon, but in the meantime, don't forget to support small businesses. Happy reading, friends.
Get you some nuts.
There was lots of memes.
Makes me wonder if I should take up lesbianism.
Chicago.
You guys asked for it.